Hey, Queen, did you ever worry about rushing into marriage? Did you ever worry that you perhaps needed or need a really long time to make sure you know him? And did you ever think time is what tells? So imagine if really time was what tells, if a man is psychopath, narcissist, all these things, then what about the girls who were in a relationship for 5 years, 10 years, and they ended up traumatized? And the women that are in relationships unmarried the longest, like 5, 3, 5, whatever years, are the ones that talk about being with a lunatic, with a narcissist, all these things. If only time in itself was what tells us, what kind of man you're with. Only time will tell. Well, if you want to subject yourself to like experimenting, like if you want to use yourself to experiment and as a guinea pig, then go for it. I never wanted to be a guinea pig. So instead, what can you do? How do you know you're not rushing into marriage? How do you know this man is a go? He's a green light. Well, that is exactly what we do in my one-on-one practice. What we profile the men, we vet the men. We literally not only um, not only like profiling their background, all their history, their how they grew up and all that stuff, but there's a degree of psychological profiling that kind of stems from that. It's a very thorough vetting that you have to perform, because if you don't do that, no matter how many years, how many centuries you are with someone, if you're not looking for the right things, you know, if you're not, if you don't know what you're looking for, then centuries can pass. There was someone who was talking about getting married like very quickly within, I don't know, 6 or 9 months, something like that. Here it's like boiling ice, and there's no air. We're in Canada. So what was I saying? Someone that got married pretty soon, and the guy turned out to be a narcissist, a lunatic. And she had to get divorced. Well, you didn't do your due diligence. Even though you cannot predict the future, there's so many there's so much profiling, so many red flags that you can identify. Like a man's childhood, like so many things that you can look at. So again, that's what we do in my one-on-one practice. We vet them together. So here what I can tell, because it's very extensive. And we look not only at the online profiles, obviously, but when you go on that first date, second date, you are to find out very specific pieces of information. And as you go into a third, fourth date, you are to continue to find out the background of this man. A lot of key pieces of information. Okay, so if you don't do any of that, no matter how many centuries or years you're with this guy, you won't know. So recently, one of the lovely ladies here on YouTube reached out to me for, inquiring about coaching for this exact topic: selecting men, vetting the men, because without discernment, without the skill of profiling and pre-selecting and selecting the men, you could be 5 years with this man and you would be rushing into it. Why? Because you don't know the relevant information. It's not like time will unfold the truth. Time will tell. Well, again, that's if you want to be your own guinea pig. I don't want that. I don't want to go through the ringer to find out years or whatever the hell it is. And I talk about this because here in my practice, it's just pregnancy issues. Here in my practice, women get married pretty soon. I get married within around 6 months after I met my husband. He proposed around the 3-4 month mark, something like that. So we don't stay a century, like, wasting time with a man and such, right? Like, well, some of you are maybe 20 years old and you're like, well, I have all the time in the planet. I was 27 when I got married. But to me, it made no sense at all to, like, okay, what am I waiting for? What am I looking for? Like, I see the profile. I see that he's qualified to be a husband. I see that he's in his mental capacities. Like, he had been vetted, like, inside and out by the freaking not even 1 month. So this is why, it's important to talk about this topic, because one of the excuses to be with a man for centuries, where, by the way, it's only you who's paying the price for that, no one else, because the guy's like, whatever, right? So one of the excuses to be with a man forever is that you don't want to rush into things, that you want to get to know him, that only time will tell. Basically, you want to be your own guinea pig, fine. But then you don't get to cry in the corner saying, oh, he turned out to be a narcissist. He turned out to be a jerk. And now I'm traumatized for life. You see, when you subject yourself to these experiments of randomness, of no intentionality, kind of like time will tell, then again, you don't get to cry when there's a lack of intention. There's a lack of a strategy. There's a lack of, calculations. So anyway, I just wanted to put this out there. And if you want to work together on profiling the men that you are about to date, that you are dating, and that you are potentially considering for marriage, do let me know. Reach out to me, in the email in the description, if you're interested in working one-on-one on that topic. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. And if you really believe that it was time that would give you all the answers. Potentially, yeah. But then you spent 5 years, like, I don't know, wasting time or getting traumatized, whatever. Let me know. I'll talk to you soon then. Bye.